Coming up right after the news, the best kept secrets down under. Feed the ocean fish in the top end. Discover the magic of the outback Uluru. And cruise gorgeous Sydney Harbor. Undiscovered Australia on Evening Magazine. Watch. From Darwin and Australia's Northern Territory.
Evening Magazine starts now.
Destination Down Under. We're revealing the best kept secrets of undiscovered Australia. In the tropical top end, where you can hand feed fish in the ocean or walk for miles beneath the city. Then, the magic of Uluru, where luxury meets a natural wonder in the middle of the outback. And the wind is your guide through the most beautiful harbor in Sydney.
I'm St. Brian here in the Northwest. Tacoma's Crystal Lake and prepares for a concert in front of 10,000 people, including Desmond Tutu.
It's Evening Magazine for Monday, May 9th.
Hi and welcome to Evening Magazine and our Australian adventure. All this week we are going to be taking you around this amazing and diverse country. Now, to give you a little perspective, Australia is roughly the same size as the continental United States with a tenth of the population. We're in the Northern Territory where basically there's the wet season and the dry season. This is considered the wet. It is hot, humid, and we are told to prepare for some torrential rains. It's all part of the adventure. Our first show will give you a taste of the Down Under from top to bottom, and we're at the top end in the city of Darwin. It's the gateway to the outback and the capital of the Northern Territories. Roughly, it has the same population as the city of Everett. Kim Holcomb is also here and gives us a tour. Hey, Kim.
Yeah, Megan, Darwin has been described as the one city in Australia where you can cross the street with your eyes closed and not worry about it. We have definitely found that to be true. It's very tropical with a distinctly laid-back feel, but it's also rich in history and international influences.
Where in the world can you hand feed fish?
Oh my God!
Walk underneath a city and wander the streets with wildlife? Darwin, Australia.
Darwin is an untouched gem.
Few people know better than Daryl Window. He's lived here for more than 30 years and survived its destruction.
This is one of the few remaining remnants of Cyclone Tracy that destroyed Darwin in 1974.
The front of this church was one of the only structures left standing after the cyclone hit.
And I had a upstairs house which blew apart within an hour and a half of the cyclone, and I was left holding onto a toilet bowl. And that's the only thing left in my whole house.
As you look around now, your city is rebuilt.
And beautiful.
Darwin has a habit of rising from the ashes. During World War II, it was bombed 18 months straight.
So this is where the first attacks from the Japanese bombers, when they came into Darwin to bomb us, they actually came in here.
The East Point gun turret was the city's last defense, but it didn't put up much of one.
Darwin had more bombs dropped on it than at Pearl Harbor, and also it had more civilians killed here than at Pearl Harbor.
A memorial on the Esplanade marks the largely unknown military past. Less than a mile away,
that there is the entrance tunnel.
Another relic of the era offers a unique way to explore the city's underlying history.
We are walking under sort of the city of Darwin, if you like.
Tunnels built to store and protect Darwin's oil supply from bombs.
Come through and go right up here, goes for miles under here.
Now the only thing running through the pipes is rainwater, but the dim, musty passageways are a popular tourist attraction. These days, Darwin is vibrant and growing. Its proximity to Asia makes it one of the country's most diverse cities. The botanical gardens are booked all summer long for weddings. And Stokes Hill Wharf served as a set for the big-budget movie Australia.
Mama, it'll be all right!
Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman just got on their scooters one day and apparently with no security just drove around the streets of Darwin and no one took any notice whatsoever.
Darwin's so laid back.
Darwin is so laid back.
Hugh Jackman riding around, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Despite its casual atmosphere, Darwin is pricey, ranking just behind Sydney as Australia's most expensive city. But luxury is balanced by residents who don't have mortgages.
Darwin has a lot of wildlife, and you know, we have little wallabies and we have plenty of bird life. We're so blasé about seeing things walk in front of you. Watch out for that crocodile there, by the way.
It's no joke if you read the paper or visit picturesque Mindle Beach, where swimming is off limits because of crocodiles. If you want to get your feet wet,
Oh my God!
head over to Aquascene, where you can hand feed fish that swim in from the ocean.
Last week, for the first time since I've been here, we had a shark. We had
I'm sorry, what did you have last
a
week?
shark.
A shark. And we're gonna go put our feet in the water.
It's okay, that's the first time.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
it's a one-off.
Hopefully the last. Oh my gosh, there you go, dude, there you go. It's all yours, there you go.
They're just such little characters. They're real little characters.
Where else can you pet fish? Hello.
Where else can you do all of this in one place? Nowhere but Darwin, in Australia's undiscovered top end.
Thanks, Kim. Now, in case you are wondering, yes, Darwin, Australia was named in honor of Charles Darwin. His travels throughout Australia greatly shaped his theories of natural selection, although he never did make it to the top end.
Just ahead, a magical sight from every angle in the middle of the outback. Plus, let an experienced skipper be your guide in one of the world's most beautiful harbors. That and more coming right up.
Welcome back to Darwin, Australia, and the top end here. Look at this coastline, absolutely fantastic with those gorgeous cliffs. Now, if you were to head south out of Darwin to the middle of Australia, you'd be in the Red Centre. 500,000 people every single year travel there to see Ayers Rock or Uluru. It is one of the most haunting monoliths in the entire world. Daybreak reveals the magic and puts Australia's most recognizable natural icon in the spotlight. Seeing Uluru like this requires getting up with the birds. But you won't hear anyone complaining. This is what tourists from around the world come to see.
It's monstrous, big.
The most famous monolith rising out of the desert, seemingly from nowhere, to take center stage.
The first time I saw it, I thought it was like looking at a movie star. You've seen so many pictures of it. It's awesome.
Formed some 600 million years ago, Uluru is sacred to the Aboriginal people. They speak of its power, ancient spirit, and ask visitors not to climb it. Doing so is considered disrespectful, not to mention dangerous. Standing 1,141 feet tall, Uluru is almost twice as high as the Space Needle.
Yeah, it is absolutely massive. It stands taller than the Eiffel Tower. It's 348 metres above the desert floor and has a circumference of 9.4 kilometres.
That's more than 5 miles around. Hard to grasp until you see it from Ash Jenkinson's perspective. As a pilot for Professional Helicopter Services, he gets a bird's eye view of Uluru almost every day.
Uluru from the air, you can just see the actual different shapes, the way the makeup is of the rock. You don't just get that cake shape that you get on all the postcard views.
Even from the air, only the top part of this massive sandstone is visible. It's estimated that at least 2/3 of Uluru lies beneath the surface.
It's just spectacular.
Broad daylight is Ash's favorite time to visit the rock.
You get a good idea of the landscape around.
For others down below, it's sunset with a glass of champagne. Decadence comes with this view of Uluru, including exotic hors d'oeuvres.
This is kangaroo?
This is kangaroo, yes. And this is a crocodile.
Served in the last glow of daylight.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to your first stage of Sounds of Silence.
Stage 2 of the Sounds of Silence dinner. An outdoor 3-course buffet lasts into the night. Long after the beauty of Uluru gives way to the gems of the southern sky. Only down under will you see stars like this up above.
Now, one thing that you may notice about the constellations in the southern hemisphere is that they're upside down.
Star talker Vanessa Hill points out various constellations,
His two shoulders are here and here.
including a group of stars never to be seen in Seattle except on an Australian flag, the Southern Cross.
Now, as the cross appears on the Australian flag, there's a fifth star, a small star called Epsilon Crux, which is just here.
And when all the stars align with Uluru, there's no doubt Central Australia is heaven on earth. The Sounds of Silence tour costs about $160, but if that's not enough, you can wake up every single morning to the sight of Uluru. It can all be arranged in your 5-star tent.
We're smack in the middle between Adelaide and Darwin, so we're about as far away from the ocean as you can get anywhere in Australia.
Tapa Tibble manages Longitude 131, a secluded resort with 15 private tents and a name that tells you exactly where you are.
We are definitely sitting at longitude 131 degrees.
Remote, but certainly not rustic. This is where Oprah stayed during her Australian adventure. And you know, she wasn't roughing it, even though technically she was camping.
Glamorous camping. This experience definitely gets called glamping.
And it's hard to describe these as tents. They have been given a 5-star rating.
I guess a certain number of people call them habitats as opposed to tents.
Each private habitat is equipped with all the comforts of home, including an amenity you won't experience anywhere else. A private view of Uluru enjoyed with the flip of a switch from your comfy king-size bed. Longitude 131 does offer hikes and excursions, but when you wake up to this in the morning, how could you ever get out of bed?
It's an experience where you feel the true hospitality of Australia.
Now, each room does have a CD player, but there are no TVs in sight. One would hope not.
Up next, navigate your way to Sydney's most recognizable landmarks with the help of an experienced skipper. And the Northwest's own singing sensation, Crystal Aiken, shares the stage with Desmond Tutu. We'll be right back.